Have you ever thought to yourself, my abs feel pretty strong, but why does my core still feel weak, especially in certain movements throughout daily life or in the gym? Maybe you've done hundreds of crunches. Maybe you can hold a plank over a minute. Maybe your abdominal muscles are actually overall visually pretty strong, but yet you still have weak internal support. You feel back pain, you might leak a little bit when you sneeze or when you jump, you get on the trampoline and you're still leaking, you're laughing, you're still peeing your pants, you still feel unstable and wobbly when you lift your kids, or maybe you notice your stomach domes during certain exercises. If you've ever experienced any of those things, this video is for you. Why strong abs don't always mean a strong core, especially after pregnancy. Today we are talking about something that confuses a lot of moms, and honestly it's one of the biggest misconceptions I see in women's fitness.
Hey there, I'm Celia, women's health and pre- and postnatal specialist, nutrition coach, trainer, and mom of 4. I help women feel strong and confident in every season, because a strong you is an enabled you. You matter and you are worth being well. Let's dive into today's topic.
So here's the truth that I wish every mom knew. Strong abs do not automatically mean that you have a strong core, especially after pregnancy. The problem is that we've been taught to think of our abs and our core as the exact same thing altogether, but they're actually not. Your abs are only one part of your core. It's only one piece of the puzzle, so to speak. When most people think about their core, they're really thinking about those external six-pack muscles called the rectus abdominis. These are the muscles responsible for bending over, for your trunk forward, for sitting up, and yes, giving you that defined six-pack appearance. So often we can see these externally. Those muscles absolutely have an important job, but they are not your entire core. Your core is actually made up of an entire system, made up of multiple muscles, and they all have to work together, and they all need to be addressed. Think about it like building a house. Your six-pack muscles are like the walls and the roof that everybody sees. But our deep core, our entire deep core system and stabilization system is the foundation. Nobody walks up to the house and compliments the foundation because you can't see it. And often we take it for granted. But when there's a crack in it, it's a big problem. When there's weakness, it causes danger. Without a strong foundation, the rest of the house is not nearly as stable. Well, it's the same thing with our bodies. Our deep core is made up of muscles like our transverse abdominis, which acts almost like a natural corset around our waist, our diaphragm, our pelvic floor, and the deep stabilization muscles along our spine. All of these make up our core. These muscles have very different jobs than our six-pack rectus abdominis muscles. They're responsible for stabilizing our spine, managing pressure inside our abdomen, supporting our organs, helping us breathe efficiently, protecting our back. They are also responsible for transferring load throughout our body, upper and lower. Every time we move, these muscles are all working all day long, even when you don't realize it. You reach down and pick up a napkin you dropped on the floor, they're working. Now, let's talk specifically about pregnancy. Pregnancy is incredible, but it is also something that your core has never had to do before. And so when your abdominal wall is stretching, your diaphragm changes position, your pelvic floor support changes significantly, your breathing mechanics can change, they can get off, all of it's supposed to work in sync together. Your entire pressure management system adapts over the course of that 9 months of pregnancy, and that's exactly what it's supposed to do. The problem is that after birth, postpartum, those muscles do not just automatically return to working altogether the way they did before pregnancy. And they don't automatically just regain their strength after being lengthened and weakened. And that's why so many moms tell me, I just don't feel connected to my core anymore, or they feel thick and loose in their abdominal area. And honestly, I 100% feel you. I've experienced that. For many women, it just is simply that their muscles are weak. It's that they've lost that coordination and that tight connection. Their core system isn't communicating together like it did prior to pregnancy. That's the biggest difference. This is also why I think so many postpartum exercise programs miss the mark. They jump into overall workouts without addressing that core and your deep foundation stabilization system from the inside out. A lot of women are immediately told they can either start going back to normal at 6 weeks, your crunches, your bicycle crunches, sit-ups, etc. Go on Pinterest and find a workout. These are all traditional ab exercises, not internal ones. Those exercises strengthen the outer abdominal muscles, but if your deep core isn't coordinating well underneath, you're building strength on top of an unstable foundation. That's like trying to build the second story of your house before you've even poured the concrete for the foundation. No matter how nice the upstairs looks, the structure isn't solid that is being built upon underneath. So it can look strong, it can look amazing, but you still feel weak. That's why we have to rebuild from the inside out. One of the biggest jobs of your deep core is something called pressure management. Every single time you lift your toddler, you carry groceries, you work out in the gym, you do a deadlift, you run, you jump on the trampoline, you laugh, you cough, you sneeze, your body has to manage all of that pressure within your abdominal wall area. And when the system isn't functioning well, the pressure has to go somewhere. Often it will push out and push down. Sometimes that shows up as leaking. Sometimes that shows up as back pain. Sometimes that shows up as pelvic heaviness, abdominal doming. Sometimes it simply feels like your core isn't supporting you the way it should. Again, you'll look like you have abs, but you feel loose and disconnected. That doesn't always mean that your abs are weak, but it often means your deep core isn't coordinating efficiently, whether that's a weak core, weak muscles, breathing patterns out of alignment. It can look a little different. So what should you actually focus on? Instead of immediately chasing harder ab workouts, doing all the crunches, start by rebuilding your foundation and health from the inside out. Learn how to breathe well again. Learn how to use your diaphragm and pelvic floor and let them work together again. Learn how to activate your deep core without just sucking in your stomach or constantly bracing. Okay, and learning how to control pressure while you move, first through daily life movements, then throughout the gym. Once you've then rebuilt that foundation, you can absolutely progress into more of those advanced core exercises, heavier lifting, running, jumping, athletic movements, functional movements, absolutely. But you got to start from the inside out. The goal isn't to stay doing breathing exercises forever. The goal is to rebuild your foundation so your body can handle everything else safely and efficiently. So if you take one thing away from today's video, let it be this. If you have that strong six-pack muscle, but you still feel weak, you still feel unstable or disconnected or thick, or like you're just troubling connecting it all together, more crunches are usually not your answer. You need to stop and assess and possibly rebuild from the inside out. Because while strong abs might look nice, a truly strong core is about so much more than appearance. It's about function, it's about stability, it's about supporting your body through everyday life. It's about helping you feel confident every time you lift your kids, you work out, or simply go about your day. Maybe you just want to laugh without peeing your pants. You can have that functionality back. So remember in all of this, and this is a lesson for all of us in all area of our wellness, don't just chase stronger abs. Don't just chase the external. Health comes from the inside out. Build your strong foundation for your core, but in every area of your life by addressing nutritional needs, foundational health. Again, wellness comes from the inside out. That's the same with our spiritual health, our mindset, all of it, okay? Your core is no different. So if you've struggled, remember I'm teaching you educationally, but I'm also speaking from experience. I had a 4-finger gap with my first baby. I had a 3-finger gap with my second baby. I know what it is like to struggle with diastasis recti. I've also had 4 kids. I know what it's like to rebuild after every baby, okay? And I can tell you I healed far faster with my 3rd and 4th baby than I ever did with my 1st and 2nd because I healed from the inside out. I took my time. I knew more. Knowledge is power. It's so enabling. And that is what my goal here with this video is, with my page, to enable you to be the best you. Mind, body, and soul. One of those forms of enablement is knowledge. And then now it's taking that knowledge and applying it. So I know how tempting it is to go 0 to 100, especially if you worked out prior to pregnancy or you're just itching to feel like yourself again in your body and just get your kind of body back. Not that you're going to get it back to your pre-baby body necessarily, but just feel more like yourself. Maybe you don't. You just want to, like, I'm just sick of sneezing and peeing my pants and I want to be able to jump on the trampoline with my kids or just walk across my yard and not have to worry about that. Totally great. Absolutely. I get you. I feel you. I am you. I am in that season and journey. I've been there. I understand. I'm not telling you not to care about those things. You absolutely should. You matter too. And it's a quality of life functionality that we all desire, right? You will attain that far better by slow and steady from the inside out rebuilding, okay? And it seems like small, minuscule actions, but I promise you those are the little actions that build that strong foundation, and then you're better in the long run. You don't have to stop and regress, and you don't have to stop and struggle. And anyone who just says, welcome to motherhood, you're gonna pee your pants and have the mommy tummy for the rest of your life. No, that's an unhealed weak core. That is an unhealed core, okay? Deep stabilization system, diastasis recti, all things that we can heal with time, patience, consistency, and intentionality. So I want to encourage you in that. I want to remind you of that. Also, if you are like looking in the mirror and you're just like, what is going on? I can see my abs, but I feel thick. Maybe from the side you feel like you're just thicker or you dome more. Okay, I've definitely struggled with that in the past. That's just all symptoms of a weak core. So address it, but don't get down about it. Just pull back a little bit and start healing from the inside out. I have a core program called Closing the Gap. We work the entire deep core from the inside out. If you're interested in that, you can have 7 days free in the link below in my bio. But whatever you're doing, whether it's my program or not, just slow and steady wins the race. Those little movements are doing more than you think. Be intentional, build steadily, and you will be so much more grateful in the long run. And if you're feeling like, again, you can see your abs, but you can't really feel them, you're not crazy. You probably are rebuilding that rectus abdominis, or you've leaned down enough that you can just reveal those muscles more, but there's still a lot of weakness. Rebuilding, realigning, overall in that entire deep core system that we just need to get going for you again. So don't be discouraged, but also don't feel crazy. You're probably not crazy. If you're dealing with that, I mean, we're moms, we might be all a little crazy because half the time we're sleep deprived and taking care of all these little humans, right? But no, seriously, you're not crazy. You just need to slow down. You need to start healing start focusing on that deep core versus the external core. And like I said, progress gradually. If you've kind of done too much too soon, just pull back. All right, you can still heal it. You haven't like damaged anything. You do want to stop and address it so you can heal it, so you don't work that separation or those weaknesses more. You don't want to be injuring yourself. You don't want to have more injuries long term and lack of functionality in life. So pump the brakes if you're struggling and slow down. But I can promise you, the moment you do that, or if you're freshly postpartum and you're itching to get back at it, start small. And the moment you do that, you will heal better. You will feel your best. You will be as functional and enabled from the inside out. Remember, you matter too. And as you, mama, are busy taking care of everybody around you, I'm here to just remind you, you need to take care of you too. I'm here to advocate for that for you. I'm here as a coach. I'm here as a trainer. I'm here as a specialist, but I'm also here as another mama friend on the other side of the screen in the journey right along with you. You matter. You are worth being well, mind, body, and soul.
If this video was helpful, I would love it if you liked, subscribed, and turned on that notification bell. And if you want deeper support, workouts, and education, you can find everything linked in the caption below or the link to the app in my bio. Thank you for being here, and remember, you matter and you are worth being well, mind, body, and soul.